Agozie Okoechukwu is a technologist, illuminator, innovator, and knowledge seeker at heart. His career and professional journey started over 9 years ago in the banking sector, where he has been privileged to cultivate value in multiple disciplines within the financial sector, ranging from customer experience, channel operations, service management, and most recently, technology. Currently, he leads the software engineering team for Sterling Bank PLC's HEART, which stands for Health, Education, Agriculture, Renewable Energy, and Transportation sector, where he consistently delivers innovative, cutting-edge solutions. Agozie holds an online MBA from Oxford University, Washington, D.C., with a specialization in advanced AI and the future of automation. He also holds a certificate in IT from the British Computer Society. Agozie is also the founder of Activa Intelligence, a fledgling consultancy that operates at the intersection of natural and artificial intelligence. Through this emerging venture, he aims to leverage his wealth of expertise to provide individuals and businesses with clarity, research-based, and intelligence-driven insight. He is happily married to his beautiful and multi-talented wife, Kachi. Joining us for the very first time in Maximizing the Moment conference, please let's welcome Mr. Agozie Okoechukwu.
All right, thank you everyone. First of all, I would like to start by appreciating each and every one of you for making our time to be here. University environment usually gives me this nostalgic, thought, how we did it back in those days, and it's really a privilege and an honor to be in your midst. Please, I want us to firstly put our hands together for my brother, my friend. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. I never knew that this was a very huge, events and conferences like this are what we need in our dispensation, because we have a lot of misconceptions, we have a lot of things going wrong generally. When you deal with intangibles, if I give you a shirt right now and you wear it, instant value. You will see the value. If I give you a car right now, you drive it out, you feel the joy in your heart. If you eat a very fantastic meal right now, you feel it in your tummy, instant value. But you can finish reading 2 books, finish attending a conference. I won't see you and the conference you attended will be hovering over you. Nothing like that will manifest physically. But what you've engaged has the capacity to transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. So don't play with moments like this. Don't play with moments like this. It's going to lead you into that future that you are envisaging. And lastly, before I continue, put your hands together for yourself, for making our time to be here. All right, I've been asked to briefly speak on the topic, the emergence and the relevance of artificial intelligence. And I will try as much as possible to be fast. Artificial intelligence is a lot. It's a lot, right? It's one of the emerging technologies in our world today. It's a buzzword. It's something that virtually all of us must have heard. I want to believe that everybody in this room, you must have interfaced with AI. Two of us. At least ChatGPT, right? Everybody in this room, you must have interfaced with AI. I'm not going to bore you with the jargons of technology, the algorithms, machine learning, deep learning, unsupervised learning, and so on and so forth. If you go online, you go on Google, you will see all those things. But what I will try to do briefly is to draw a pattern for us to understand the era we are in. AI is going to change, it has already started changing a lot of things, and it's going to change more. Some of the courses we are studying in Nigerian universities today, I'm being honest with you, with research, with a lot of things that is going on, when you graduate, that course will be irrelevant. You now have to make the choice going forward. looking at our environment, if you are not counting your teeth with your tongue, then in the future you'll be shocked at what will be happening. So I will run us through AI, and as a matter of fact, as an introduction, artificial intelligence is simply computer systems that try to mimic human intelligence. But if you are paying attention, if you pay attention to that word artificial, you will start asking some questions. If there is an artificial, automatically there should be what? An original. I know ladies understand the word artificial to a reasonable extent because they have artificial hair, artificial nails, so they understand the value behind artificial. But before ever there was artificial intelligence, there was also an original what? Intelligence. What man is doing with AI today, please pay attention, is simply a lower resolution of what God did when he created man in his image, gave us his ability to be creative. As a matter of fact, we were created by a creator to be creative. God created us and handed us over that ability to be what? Creative. And I will draw a pattern for us, because the earlier you understand the powers of these technologies, the better you start deploying it to help you. Anything powerful has three parts. Anything powerful has what? Three parts. And it follows the design of the creator. Let's start with God. God the Father, God the Son, and what? He created man in his image. Man is equipped with what? Spirit, soul, and what? Follow the pattern. Let's leave man. We'll move into the planetary systems. You have the sun, the moon, and the what? And the stars. You move into, existence. You have time. Morning, afternoon, and what? Still in time. You have insight, hindsight, and foresight. Still in time. You have the future, the present, and what? If you move away from that element, you go into states of existence. You have the gaseous, the liquid, and the what? Solid state. If you move into arms of government, you have the federal, state, and what? Can you see the pattern? Now, what AI is a completion of these three parts to anything powerful. God, man, and what? Machines. God, man, and machine. So it's not like any other technology that we've had in the past. We've had electricity, we've had Bluetooth technology, we've had a lot of things. But AI, believe you me, is going to transform a lot about our existence. It's so powerful that if you are not paying attention to it, you will be a servant in the future. And I will run us through, next slide, I will run us through the whole discourse. Now, there's something I call the order of intelligence. All of us here are Christians, right? Any idea you can think of, any innovation, any discovery, any product, solutions that man has been able to build, they all follow this order of intelligence. And it still follows that three-part nature to anything powerful. So we have the first part, the spirit or the idea realm. Before anything becomes tangible, man must pull it from that idea realm. As a matter of fact, there is a saying that goes thus: what was now proven was once imagined. Anything that is proven today initially started as an imagination. Anything you have in this room, this microphone, speaker, any aspect of endeavor, product, solutions, started from this idea realm. And the next point there is science. I'm sure a lot of us here must have interfaced with that word. Science simply means to know. The etymological meaning of science is simply mean to understand or to know something. So what scientists do in the tech space, in the biological space, is to study what was made to an extent that they will begin to download the intangibles and convert them into products and solutions. And if you pay attention long enough, you will see the next one, technology. Technology is simply tech and logia, which means tech is craft or skill. craft or skill. I'm using the etymology. As a matter of fact, etymology is the basis of so many English words that we have. Because some of the words that we use today, it originally did not emanate from English. We borrowed them from Latin, we borrowed some of them from Greece. So for you to really understand the basis of some words, you have to check the etymological meaning. And when you check the etymological meaning of technology, it simply means tech and logia. Tech means craft. Logia is logos, which is words. So the summary of everything is technology is simply a science that has been documented, studied to a reasonable extent, and made available for man to reuse. Transferable, recognizable, and rewardable. So everything we have today, AI, robotics, name them Bluetooth technology, and so on and so forth, they start from the idea. Elon Musk, like we all know, is still this same sequence. You know, I like what the speaker, Mr. Joseph Carlo, said. We are too religious. Is this same IDRM that these guys are using to trap concepts, to trap innovations? But our own, we only use it for spiritual jingoism. We only use it for just to feel cool. It is the same Holy Spirit. Let me break it down. There is no it's just that because they are studying, they are doing research, they don't acknowledge God in it. But we know that the origin of all intelligence, remember the first slide, is what? God. So what they do is that they take what was made, study it long enough, give us law of gravity, give us law of relativity, give us all the technological advancement that we are experiencing today. Intelligence will only meet the people according to their capacity. The lady that gives spoken word mentioned something very powerful concerning capacity. God is vast. No matter the dream you have, no matter the concept in your heart, if you don't have capacity, nothing will happen. Because God operates from a very high point of intelligence. Imagine, God, we always say God the same yesterday, today, and forever. During the time of Moses in the past, there was AI with God, I hope you know. But the reason they couldn't do anything was because they didn't have the capacity to download such technologies. I believe John, when he was having that dream, probably saw planes. But he couldn't describe it. Because there was no context in his head to describe an aeroplane. He would have called it a bird. I saw a bird with 1,000 wings, with the voice like the voice of a multi-million people. He will only use what is in his context. The idea is God is vast, but you have to tune into that frequency by building the capacity. No matter what, no matter who is rubbing anointing oil on you, if you don't have capacity, God will show you a dream. That dream will come and meet you in your container. And it pains me a lot that we are closer to God, in quote, but we are not participating in this AI stuff. We are not participating in production. We are not participating in building solutions for men. The only thing we use our spirituality to do is to... Next slide. Now, this is very important. Connecting it to the previous question I asked. And this is the answer. Go to the next slide. AI has always been with us in various forms. As a matter of fact, the mission of this universe is innovation. The mission of this universe is what? Innovation. Right from the Garden of Eden, man has been innovating. And I will show us a trend from the first age and so on. When you hear the word universe, if you check the etymology, I go back to etymology again. If you check the etymological meaning of the word universe, it simply means uni and verse. Uni means one, verse means to flip over, or the way you have verse 1, verse 2. So what the universe simply means is to take what was made and take it to its next level. Does it sound like the instruction that we are given in Genesis? Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. For some of us that are students of the Bible. The idea, the word universe means innovate. Take sand, turn it into glass. Take a tree, turn it into bench, wood, and so on. Take a leaf, turn it into a cloth, and so on and so forth. And that was what man has been doing. And if you pay attention to this first instruction, the reason why Africa is not progressing is not because we don't have natural resources, but we don't obey this. We carry our natural resources and send to countries that obey this principle. They take our crude oil, return what? Petrol for us. If you go to other countries that have gold, cocoa, and so on and so forth, they ship it out. Those that pay attention to this, without knowing, it's so bad that some of those countries, they don't acknowledge God. Fire and language symbolizes the pinnacle of technological and social advancement. What it means is that there was a point on this planet, there was no fire. I hope you know. Journey with me a bit in your imagination. There was a point on this planet, there was nothing like what? Fire. The only thing man was doing then was to survive, protect himself from wild animals. It was called the Dark Ages, for some of us that are history students. Somebody had to, we can't continue living like this. How did they start getting this fire? Bringing two stones together, strike it, and they discovered fire. And the discovery of fire set us up for so many other innovations. Because from then, we started learning how to cook. We discovered that we can actually use this fire to boil, to cook all the agricultural stuffs. And when we eat all those things, it helped our brain in calorie intake. That was the era man started forming language. The animals were still there, but we started innovating. If you go to the next slide, the second age, it simply typifies agricultural establishments and small cities. When we knew that we could, we started planting, growing crops. I'm taking us through this journey before we come into the present and what the future will look like, so that we'll appreciate the power of artificial intelligence. We had agriculture, and agriculture led to a lot of things. How many of us remember beast of burdens? How many of us remember that word, beast of burdens? Animals that you use to carry things, Before that beast of burden, at a point on this planet, the fastest means of transportation was your two legs. The fastest means of transportation. We innovated and transferred that burden to animals. That's where beast of burdens came about. We innovated again. Go to the third age. We had the wheels and writing. So from beast of burdens, we started having chariots. Chariots was simply a combination of animals and machines. That was the first point man introduced mechanical leverage. It is still a form of intelligence at a lower resolution. But what it did is that it helped man to start moving into so many areas that were uninhabitable, like places that were dark, territories that you can't go into. Because of this expansion, we started transporting goods, we started transporting resources, and so on and so forth. Fast forward that into the technological evolutions that we have in the next slide. So this led us to all the technological revolutions in the fourth age. As a matter of fact, we are currently in the fourth age. And when you hear the fourth age, what it typifies is the era of AI, robotics, data, big data, and so on and so forth. Some people call it the digital era. And when you hear digits, it's simply 1 and 0. I hope you know everything that happens in the computing world, everything that happens on your screen, on your devices, is controlled by two numbers. 1 and 0. Binary. You now have hexadecimal, octadecimal, and so on. But this is the age we are living in. Now, ask yourself this question. If man has been able to do all these innovations up till now, can you project a little bit into the next 20 years? At least some of us here, we still have up to 60 years ahead of us. Can you just do a mental picture into the future? And I will show us the implication of not paying attention to some of these innovations. Fast forward to the next two slides. In the present, the next one. Stepping into the future. Now, this is where we are going to talk about AI. In all these innovations that I've listed, people were gaining power. People were also losing relevance. Because when man innovated from using his legs to beast of burdens, did people lose their jobs or not? I need a response. People lost their jobs, right? Now, the people that had those animals, camels, that era that whenever you are the king or you are the richest, you must have maybe acquired like 1,000 camels. When man innovated into using spinning wheels, innovated into using chariots, people lost relevance. And also, people gained relevance. Now, this is it. Any point in time innovation is happening, you have to divide. Any point in time innovation is taking place, you have to divide. It's either you are going to be a king or you are going to be a servant. It's not the time to be asking whether AI will take jobs or not. AI, it is already taking away jobs of people. You see this slide that I'm using? Before, for me to prepare something like this, I need to meet a graphics what? I need to meet somebody that knows how to put things together. But you see this slide? One product, one application, cooked up everything for me. I will just be, it's not ChatGPT. I'll just be telling it, give me this design, prompt it better. And it created, if you want the video, it can go to the extent of creating the video for you. Now, what's the fate of those that are still bearing graphics designers? Can you remember this word called typist? That means we are old people here. You know that machine that when you type, when you hear came, you push it to this side. Typewriter. You know people used to have that job. Typist. They will go to school, study shorthand. Where are those roles today? If typist is far enough for you, we also had the era where people were Excel specialists. Excel what? They were bragging in that position, like I'm an Excel, but where are those job roles today? The future of our world is filled with automation. It's filled with artificial intelligence. It's filled with augmented reality. And don't let your environment, the primitivity of this environment, deceive you that it's not going to come here. Don't let your primitivity, our low resolution environment trick you to think that it's going to be happening for them. Because somebody said something very funny. By the time Africa is ready to develop, most of the first world people must have gone to Mars. By the time Africa wakes up to develop, most of the first world nations you think all these plan to go to Mars, you think it's for you? People are done with Earth. They are planning to move. And we are still talking about fuel. If you are in university, please pay attention to this. If you are still studying any course today in an institution, I beg you, go back. Project that your course into the next 7 years. If you don't know how to do it, use ChatGPT. Don't be dulling yourself by reading production something and hope that when you come out, the world would have changed you won't even believe what is happening. Skills, as a matter of fact, used to be resident in humans. When you talk of skills, it's only human beings that could learn. It's only human being that has the ability to learn anything, innovate. Now, when companies want to employ, they don't employ you because you are bearing Musa or Uchenna or Bola. They employ you because of a skill that you have. So when they advertise, you see an opening for the role of an accountant, right? An opening for the role of an engineer. You can't just from nowhere submit an application. You must have studied that body of knowledge. Remember, science. You must have studied it enough. 4 years, 5 years, as the case may be. Certified. When you now see that opening, you will show up with your certificate. Submit your certificate. They will interview you. They will ask you all the necessary questions and now evaluate whether you are ready to be given this role or not. Now, listen. Prior to now, only human beings could do that. But we started training a computer system, an intelligent entity that could learn. When you hear the word machine learning, what do you think is happening? Machines are what? Machines are learning. What normally takes you 4 years to read, 5 years to read, they can learn it in 2 days. One of the most productive large language model, because behind all these chat GPTs, there are large language models that are powering it. Meta has their own, Google, OpenAI. One of the fastest large language model read all the books on the internet in 6 weeks. All the books, any reference, article, anything you can think of, it's ready. It was used to train that language model. So, and you know human beings, if you have a company, you employ people, right? Human beings, they complain, they are tired, they can, form labor union, they can misbehave. But these intelligence systems, they don't sleep. They don't complain. They don't form they are not tired. They work 24/7. So if you are an owner or a business startup, in the nearest future, you have an opening for a customer care agent, you have chatbots, and you have human beings, and you know they are getting better every year. Who would you employ to serve as your customer care agent? Who would you employ? Because chatbot, you just need to pay a company that builds it. Plug it into your website. Now you can have one, I'm not saying everybody will leave their job, but you can have one human being or two that is at the back of the scene. They will receive the prompt. If the chatbot system cannot work with it, they will push it. But the idea is that if you are an owner or a business enterprise, you will employ machines. And some of us that watch Instagram, YouTube, you must have seen some of these companies, what they are doing. They are building, there is now what we call AI agents. Agentic AI, that's the next level. And it's being projected to take over very soon, maybe in the next 6 or 5 years. Any sector of endeavor, they are trying to build an agent that will replace human labor. And remember what I said in the beginning. The idea of all these things is speed. Man wants to innovate, get better, make his life better. Right from the Garden of Eden, that's what we've been doing. Man discovered fire, discovered a lot of things, gave us merchant banking, built all the cities we know in the world today. Now, the truth is, if you are not paying attention, you will wake up one day in the future and your BSc or your degree, whatever you call it, will not be able to sustain you. The idea is for us to galvanize our strength. There's what I call agency, agentic AI. Start thinking of how you can build your own agency. And it's very simple. Most of us here are students. Ask yourself, how can AI make me more efficient? How can artificial intelligence make me more productive? In the endeavor or in the space where I'm functioning, how can it help me to be more productive? And I was telling somebody something recently. Take, for instance, education. The future of education is immersive. When you talk of education, it's not what we are experiencing today. The future of education is immersive. As a matter of fact, there's a company we are starting by the side, Activa Intelligence. What we do is that we help people consult businesses, individuals, and so on. In the future, if you want to consult with us, we are not going to have a face-to-face interaction. We are going to have a multiverse. What that multiverse will do is that when you have an issue, the way you receive WhatsApp notifications on your phone or anything, we will be prompted that a client is waiting for us. We will climb or enter into that multiverse, whatever the multiverse will be in the future. And you know all these devices that we wear, AR devices, augmented reality devices, you wear your own. I can be in maybe Ghana or you'll be somewhere in Nigeria. You will plug into that same universe and we will be interfacing face to face. As we are talking, complaining about your problems, maybe you are battling with issues around your productivity, development, and so on. as we are talking, that multiverse is building the solution for you. What I'm telling you is already being implemented. Because these agentic AIs, they are capable of interpreting human languages, visions in terms of natural language processing. They will use all those large language models as we are talking. They are picking your problems and dimensioning it into possible solutions. By the time you are done, that reality of solutions must have been created for you. So if your problem is productivity, it will create a universe for you to live and actually transform yourself from being not productive to productive. But the difference is that it's going to be immersive. It's not Zoom, it's not video conference call. It is something that we've never experienced before. So imagine a company, you are challenged with productivity or you are challenged with staff employment. As we are talking, we are creating that universe for you. We will show you companies in China, real time, companies in other parts of the world that have been able to solve that problem that you are battling with. By the time you are done, you have a blueprint to work with. You can virtually go into that universe, leave it out, and implement the solution real time. And that's the future of consulting. And so it cuts across a lot of field, a lot of endeavor. So the idea is, ask yourself, project into the future from now, like in the next 5 years, in the next 7 years, in the next 20 years. Which side of the divide am I going to be? This is not the time to use your natural currencies. We have 3 currencies in the universe: time, energy, and attention. This is not the time to waste those currencies. Decide today, what part of the divide am I going to be in? Am I going to be a king or am I going to be a servant? If machines are learning and learning very quickly, the responsibility for you is to brace up and take up these challenges. You are still in school now. And this is the only time you have before responsibilities and so on and so forth starts bombarding you. But know that the future as you know it, presently now, it is already changing. It is constantly being innovated. Don't let the mediocrity of your environment tell you otherwise. I leave us with a verse of the Bible, Isaiah 26 verse 3. Isaiah 26 verse 3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in you. Before you can be able to do all these things, remember what I told us at the beginning. It starts from the spirit realm to science to technology. You have to be connected to the source. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times and the strength of salvation. If you are not paying attention to these important facts, you will wake up one day and discover that you've been left behind. Take your time. Invest in all the things that you need to invest in. Study. The only thing you can do now is to go online and start with knowledge. Learn all these basic technologies. Go online. Find out what AI can do to your industry, whatever sector you are in. All of us will not be, I didn't go into details, all of us will not be techies. But find out how your business will be disrupted by AI. Because if machines are learning and learning very quickly, the onus is on you to also learn and adapt in our ever-changing world. Thank you for having me.